Hello, today's science lesson is about making a model of how sedimentary rock is formed. And to help us with this, we are going to need to look at the entry that is in our notebook for sedimentary rock, compaction, and cementation. So hopefully it will load before too long. It is taking its sweet time. Hopefully, we remember that sediment is broken down pieces of rock. We had a day in class where we had two pieces of granite and we rubbed them together, and little pieces of rock broke off or weathered off. And we used a hand lens to take a look at them. So, sediment is broken down pieces of rock. We're making a model of sedimentary rock, and it's formed from pieces of sediment that get compacted and cemented together. Compaction is the process of sediment becoming closely packed. So it's getting like squished together, squeezed together, packed together, however you want to think of that. And cementation is process of minerals dissolving to glue sediment together. So our model today is actually an edible model. Unfortunately, you are not at school to get to eat the model, but you can still participate uh, in part of the activity at least. So we needed these definitions. Remember that compaction is where it gets squeezed together. Cementation is where it gets glued together. All right, we're going to try switching over to my camera. On my camera, you can see that I've got a plate, I've got a plastic knife, and I've got a mini Rice Krispie treat that I just took out of the package. So I'm going to use this knife to separate my Rice Krispie treat into two layers. Now we're going to pretend this is a layer of sediment. In this case, let's pretend it's, I don't know, sandstone. So sandstone is little bitty grains of sand that get cemented and compacted together and turned into rock. And then maybe on top of that, we get some weathering processes going on, and some little pieces of shale sediment are carried on top of our sand. Okay. And then maybe some more sandstone gets weathered away and it becomes another layer on top of that. And then finally, we might have, I don't know, some other kind of rock like maybe limestone or something of that nature. So, in order to become a rock, it needs to have compaction and cementation. So, compaction is going to happen when I am pushing down with my fingers on everything and it's kind of gotten flattened out. And so now it's kind of all, instead of being two layers and some loose powder and some loose candies, it's kind of all together here. That is a weird fraction of green. That's a lot of green for as few mini M&Ms that are there. But now you can see it's mostly one piece. I did lose one M&M. He jumped ship. So the compaction came from me squeezing with my fingers or my palm. Now, in this case, the gluing together or the cementation is coming from something that's already in the Rice Krispie. Hopefully, you've made Rice Krispie treats at home. But if you haven't, basically, you take butter and marshmallows and you put them over the stove and heat them up. The marshmallows melt and the butter melts, and it all becomes this gooey mess. And you mix it in with the Rice Krispie treats or the Rice Krispie cereal and spread it out in a pan. And the melted marshmallow and butter acts like a glue. And so it is acting like a glue in this as well, even though we didn't just melt it. If you've ever eaten a Rice Krispie treat, you know they're kind of sticky. All right, so your job is going to be to go to the link. First of all, you need to go to Canvas inbox, and I sent you an invitation to your class's Flipgrid class from me. So you need to accept that. And once you accept that, you will see today's Flipgrid there. And you need to record a video response to that. So in that video response, you need to explain to me what part of this was compaction and what part of this was cementation. And if you need to go look at your science notebook before you record, go ahead and do that. Don't just tell me the definitions. I need to know what part of making this edible rock model was compaction and what part of this was cementation. So it's not just reading the definitions to me. That won't cut it. You've got to use those words and use them correctly in showing me, telling me how this model is related to that. All right. Thanks for watching.